Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira. I think, honestly, man, Michael Chandler, who is now 4-2. When I was guessing what he was, I think he was 3-2. Now I think he's 4-2 in the UFC. 30% win rate, 33.3% win ratio. Man, for as much as he likes to hype himself up, I don't think that he did celebrate at the end of that fight. I want to look at the bright side first, right? The ending of the fight when he was slamming and trying to give the fans something. Okay, he's an entertainer at his heart. But he hesitated and he turned away from Charles Oliveira a lot, which was what cost him the first fight. I saw it in the first 2 rounds where he's turning around, running away with his back. Terrible idea in a professional fight, let me tell you that. He would have got knocked out the same way he did in the first one. But at least, in the 5th round, he did have a really cool comeback. He did win. I think he won that 5th round. That's safe to say. At least on my scorecard. I haven't looked at the scorecards yet. But, man, he showed that he was hitting Oliveira with stuff that he hit Oliveira with years ago. And it didn't affect Oliveira. It was like Oliveira got tougher and he got weaker. It just seems like the age is catching up with Chandler. And Conor McGregor is now kind of having the last laugh in a petty way because now he's probably going to go on social media and say, see, this is why I didn't fight this bum. He couldn't even knock out that bum Oliveira, who I would have slapped the head off of. Just like I would have slapped Ilia Topuria. I make more dough than a bakery. I predict these things because I'm Mystic Mac. That's my Conor McGregor impression. But that's just probably what he's going to do now. So for Chandler to call out Conor McGregor and kind of save face a little bit, I think we all kind of saw like, this is where it's going to go. But yeah, no, Conor didn't step into the ring. So for him to do that, if he does something like that or congratulates Oliveira. By the way, Oliveira's earned the Islam title fight now. I think, honestly, this setback with Arman Sarukian and now a bounce back with Chandler, he should be next in line to fight for the lightweight title, which is good because Islam is going to face down Arman Sarukian, who he's beat, and he's going to face Oliveira, who he's beat. So he does have a lot of lightweights who are coming his way, who are getting some really good victories in. Excuse me. So Islam, for all the people saying, well, Islam's only defended against featherweights, right? Except for Dustin Poirier. He did upset against Oliveira when nobody saw that coming. So Oliveira needs to run that back. Do I think he's going to be able to beat Islam? I just think jiu-jitsu versus Sambo. Sambo's going to win because it's just more equipped to stay on top and continue to throw some strikes. But with Michael Chandler calling out Max Holloway. Now, Holloway might have taken a KO to Ilia Topuria, but Ilia Topuria versus, Chandler, how do you think that would honestly go? I think Topuria would destroy Chandler in half the time. So if you want to face Max Holloway for the BMF belt, I honestly think it's going to break the BMF curse where Max Holloway is going to get in. And you know what? Chandler's going to go for money fights now, like marketable fights with guys like that. Hey, if he wants to fight Max Holloway, I just think it's going to get Max Holloway back into the win column. And it's just for marketing purposes. But I don't see him beating Max Holloway. Who else do I not see him beating? Who else did he call out? All these guys that he wants to fight right now, I just don't see it because you could just tell that he's slowed down so much. So it just kind of seemed like this was the worst case scenario for Michael Chandler to an extent. Unless you call out, he gave a good performance with those slams at the end. But that can't overshadow all the other red flags we're really seeing. Honestly, Michael Chandler should probably think about hanging it up because he was here for a good time, not a long time, and he did give us a good time with a lot of his performances. His fights were very entertaining. But the title fight days, the Islam fight is not going to happen. He's not going to beat Islam. He's not going to beat Charles. I don't see him beating anybody in the top 5 right now. It's just crazy because he was in that number 7 spot. And I think that's where Tony Ferguson was when he faced down Michael Chandler, I believe. And it's just this weird reminiscence where it's like you're seeing them switch spots. Now Chandler's on the decline. Now Chandler has lost a lot of time. And it's sad because Chandler was one of the most dedicated coaches I've ever seen on The Ultimate Fighter. So that's why I kind of wanted to root for him. And I would have actually really loved to see him finish Charles in that 5th round. That would have been an upset comeback. I would have still thought that if he were to fight Islam would have whooped him really bad. But, yeah, it was, I think it's a wrap for Michael Chandler. I think it's safe to say that it's over, and that's okay. He came in the UFC rather late, and he did put on some really awesome shows. He has some really awesome clips in there, but how much else can you really do? Peace out.